1 second, let me just. So this is one of the questions, right? You can expect from the interviewer, and also from the practical point of view. Once you get into a job, if you encounter this kind of error, how you can overcome this? First of all, what is circular dependency error? And then we will see how we can avoid the circular dependency error. Okay, so here, whenever two objects reference each other in such a way that Power BI cannot process the objects. See, basically, when you create a two calculated columns, which references each other, in that kind of situation, it can create, you will encounter this kind of issues like circular dependency error. You will face this kind of issue. So what we will do is, I'll just show you how, I'll just simulate how, how you can, when you can get this one, okay? What I'll do is I just go here, and then I click cross, sales W04. For example, I want to create a calculated column. So in this case, I just click on new column. Here I just say United States. I just want to say United States sales, something like that, is equivalent to, I'm going to use the calculate function here itself. We can use calculate here also. The sum of sales underscore W04. So it is raining heavily here. So in case anything, any disconnection, you can bear with me. You understand that, power, because I'm running out of battery also, my laptop, but somehow, let me see, I can manage, I think so. 04, here the country is equivalent to, let's say, United States. Let's say we just want to find out the total sales for United States alone. Since we are using calculate, it will do the filtering. Okay, it will create the filtering. Okay, it does the filtering row by row. Calculate function does the context transition from row context to filter context. It does this, right? I just press enter. So now the new column got created, United States sales. Okay, let me do one thing. I just remove these columns and all. So when I just give me a second, if I go here and click on United States sales, here it calculates sum of sales country equal to, yeah, 1 second. Okay, now this column got created, right? We don't get any error. What I'm going to do, I just copy this one, and then I'm going to create a new column here. In this case, I just say, I'm going to do the same thing again. Okay, I'm going to create the same column, duplicate of this one. In this case, what happens is the calculated column references each other. Okay, so this calculated column references this one, right? So hence, sorry, this calculated column references the sales column, and then they based on the filtering criteria, right? So again, when I create the another calculated column with a different, even though the calculated new calculated column is different, but it referencing the same, it references each other, right? These two are referencing this one only, right? So in that case, it will cause, this kind of error. And the circular dependency. In the interview, you can tell them we have encountered the errors, like the common errors, like circular dependency error we encountered. And then those kind of issues we addressed it. So if they ask you, how did you, first of all, tell me what is that circular dependency error? So this is the one, right? The calculated columns that, that references each other. Then it will cause the circular dependency error. Okay, error is, you came up with an, how did you resolve this? So what we did, we just use the remove filter. See, here I already mentioned it here. Here you say United States sales, United States sales new. And here I'm going to say United States sales, right? Yeah, this is the one. I just go ahead and copy paste it here. And then what I do is I just press enter. Look here, now that error went off, right? So what happens is when you create a duplicate of this one with the, even though you create a duplicate of this one with different name, it landed up referencing the same thing, right? The same filtering criteria, same set of data for the same filtering criteria, and it references the same column. Hence, it is causing that problem, circular dependency error. So to overcome that, what I did, so basically what happens is, in the case, see, since we are creating the calculated column, right? So calculated column, what it does is row by row context. It's a row context. And what happens is, though I use the calculate function to transition from row context to filter context, what happens is it obtains something like, some kind of lock or something like that. Okay, right. So in that case, what we are doing is we are removing the filter on this one. Okay, if you use the function remove filter on top of this this column, right? Hence, right, what will happen is it is not going to reference this one. You can tell them the circular dependency error is nothing but the objects are referencing each other, right? The calculated columns reference each other. Whenever the calculated columns reference, for example, if I create a duplicate of the same calculated column, right? So it can leads to some kind of circular dependency error. So then, right? So then to overcome that, we have used remove filters on the uh, column, the column which we already created. So this column already created it. I'm going to use remove filters. Remove filters on this column. If you do it, this condition still works, and you are able to create the duplicate of this column. Okay. The case of calculated columns, if the it actually references each other, right? Like two calculated columns that actually references each other, you will end up this kind of. This is a very interesting question they'll ask you, and if you answer these kind of questions, they'll think, okay, you are good in error handling, and you have a good exposure in these kind of things. Okay, the error handling, all things. This is calculated column. This is related to calculated. The calculated columns that actually reference each other. That is the thing. Got it? And the next question, what you can expect is, so all these things I have video. What I'm working with my people here, and we will put it very neat thing here. I will put the link and all. Okay, which one you are supposed to reference all the things. Okay, and that way you can make sure that which video you are supposed to watch mine. Okay, and also I would suggest you guys to watch Guy in a Cube. Okay, Guy in a Cube. It's Amazon. Sorry, it's not Amazon. Microsoft's YouTube channel. You can see a lot of interesting videos there. Okay, so the guy by the name of Patrick is this guy is very good. He's very engaging. when it comes to the certain topics, most of the topics. Okay, you can watch Patrick and another guy. Okay, the two guys, they are contributing. They are part of Microsoft. Okay, so this is a channel in Gainekyo. We can see that for a lot of real-time scenarios. Also, they explain it there. Okay. So now you are familiar. We already discussed about these kind of things. Okay, now the question is, what is the difference between calculated column and measure? How many of you remember this one, calculated column and measure? Today I might be jumping from here to somewhere, here and there. Okay, there will not be, because in the interview they'll ask here and there, right? That is the reason why. So how about Nilesh? Nilesh, are you there? So Nilesh, you are in a hurry to get into a job. You said you are ready. You are okay. Nilesh did not join. I don't know. What is the difference between these two? So calculated column, when you create a calculated column, it is part of your table, right? In addition to the existing columns in your table, you are creating additional columns. Okay. That is what you are the calculated column. Whereas, it will become, once you create a column, a new column, new calculated column, which will be part of your table, and it will consume space in your memory. Okay. That is the one difference. And other thing is like whenever you need to use a column in your slicer, right? Let's say you want to use some column to filter it using the slicer. In that kind of situation, right? You need to have a column. A column should present in a table. Only then you can use that in a slicer, right? Based on some column, I wanted to do a filter using my slicer visual, but that column which I'm going to use it in my slicer is not already present. Okay, so in that kind of situation, you have to create a calculated column. Okay, the calculated columns are stored in memory, whereas measure is not stored in memory. And the calculated column, it calculated the time of report refresh. Whenever you refresh the report, what do you mean by refresh the report? For example, here you have something like refresh, right? When you click on this, what will happen is the calculations of the formula, whatever you used it in your calculation, only that time it will get calculated. Okay, once it gets calculated, that's all. Okay, and until you refresh it again, it will not get calculated. Whereas the case of measures, it will get calculated on the fly. Whenever you move the, when you drag and drop a measure, for example, I just go here. Look here, in this case, when I click on this, so this is a measure, okay? The moment when I drop this measure, it will get calculated. So measures are calculated on the fly. Since it is getting calculated, anything involves computation, right? So it will consume CPU, okay? Whereas in the case of calculator, it consumes memory. So measure consumes CPU, whereas which one? The calculator column consumes memory. Okay. And the measure in general, we use it for aggregation. Okay, sum of sales, something like that. Whereas calculate row by row calculation. For example, I want to multiply. So for example, I want to multiply, where is that? Yeah, I want to take the list price into quantity. I want to take a product of list price by quantity. So that will give me the sales, right? Each and every row, you are picking up the list price and the corresponding quantity, and then you take the product that will give you the sales amount, right? So the calculator column is, and the calculations are done usually row by row in the case of calculator column, whereas in the case of measure, it is a result of aggregation. And the value of the measure, you can see it only when you place it in your visual. So look here, this measure, right? This measure, only when I place it in this visual, you can see the value here. Otherwise, you cannot see it. For example, I'm going to create another card visual when I sales in value. 1 second. Let's check what is sales in month, right? Sales in month. If I drop this over here, 208. So only when I drop this here, you can see the value. Okay. Otherwise, you will not be able to see it. In the case of measure, right? So values can be seen only when you include it in a visual. Okay, and this one, right? The values can be seen in the data tab. So all the values, for example, the calculator column, just a while ago, I created this one. And okay, if you scroll down, you can see anything related to United States, only you can see that, right? So the values for the calculator column, you can see it in the data tab, whereas in the case of measures, only when you drag and drop it in your visual, you can see it. And then what is the thing? Yeah, these are the difference between the calculator column and measures. So other thing is, yeah, the top function, what is the top and rank X function? Yesterday, the last session, it did not come out well. I agree that. So what is the difference between, yeah, the Sushmita, she asked me exactly what exactly the top and. So we know top n give, for example, if you want to say top 3, top 4, top 5 sales. Let's say I have three categories. In each category, I want to see the top 3, sales in each category. Okay. So in that case, what it does is it will not give you the row by row. It will not give you the row by row detail, right? It will not give you the row by row data. So in simple term, the top end does not return a value for each row in a data table. The top end function, it simply returns a table which contains the top n items from the original data table. That's why what we did, we have created, I have demonstrated how to use a top n function which returns a table. And also we have used the top n function in a measure also, right? So when you use it in a measure, it will be helpful. In that case, what we can do is in each category, what is the top 3, top 4, top 10 sales? We can see it. If you don't use top n function as part of your measure, and if you try to create a table, what will happen is the top n function will create a table behind the same, but it will give you the top 3 products or top 3 sales for the entire data set. That is what we discussed it. So the top n, it does not return a value for each row in a table. So that is when the rank X function is very much helpful. The rank X function ranks individual data rows according to a certain ranking attribute. For example, I wanted to see the ranking based on the category or based on the sales, right? Or quantity. Based on the units sold, do the ranking. Based on the sales, you do the ranking. But in the case of rank X function, it ranks individual data rows. Okay, based on the quantity or based on the sales. That is the key difference between these two. And then they will definitely ask you, what is the dynamic top end? How do you do the top end using dynamic? That's when I have demonstrated using the selected value, we can capture what are the items that you selected in your slicer. It will capture it, based on which you can pass that the selected value as part of your the rank X is the top end function. So based on which so instead of top 3, instead of 3, what you do is that selected value, right? That you need to pass it there. So so that you can do the top dynamic top end, you can do it. And then the next thing is like okay. This is another interesting one. Okay, this is another look here. So this is the one scenario. Okay, in the real time, what will happen is, let's say you joined a company and report creation. Okay, basic, simple reports, medium reports, how to use DAX at the beginner level, intermediate level, you learned it. The advanced level, something like this. This is kind of a requirement. Look here. If you look at this GIF animated one, they say the user wants to select a specific month, October month. In the October month 2017, what it is, show me the October month and then the previous 6 months. Okay. In simple term, last 6 months for any given year or any month, you display the data here. Look here, this guy selects, let me just pass it. This guy selects, the 2017. 1 second, let me just. Look here, 2017 August. Now he selects the October month. Cool. And then in this is your what if parameter he slides to 11 months. So it goes back to 11 months, October, or September, right? Sorry, August, so September, right? September, August, previous month too, right? Previous month of your September, August, July, June, right? Likewise, it goes back and shows. Basically, you want to see whatever the value, irrespective of the value that you selected in year and month, it should show the previous 4 months or 6 months. If I select any month, right? Any number of months, it should go back and show the previous 4 months of the year. This is also one of the real-time scenarios. These kind of scenarios you can tell them. So last 10 months we have created it. So initially we pose little bit challenges when it comes to implementing them, using a DAX. And I can see, these are the complex. They'll ask you, right? What do you mean by complex report? The data pre-processing, the cleaning and all, right? So the business logic was a bit complex one. Apart from this, they wanted some out of the box solutions. Everything, see, we know DAX with the DAX banks, that using DAX functions, we can solve certain out of the box use cases, right? Certain use cases you cannot implement it upfront. You need to, think, and then you need to come up with some different logic or approaches in order to implement this, right? This kind of a, the bit advanced thing, right? So these kind of things we have implemented. Hence, it took time for us to create the reports and multiple pages. That's the reason why we call this a complex report. And also many pages were there, and right, those kind of things they'll ask him. Look here, this is the example, right? The last 6 months. For example, here if I select 2014, and if I select, for example, 2014 May month when I select it, and then if I select, so okay, 2014 May month, if I select it, usually what will happen for this year, for this month, what is the sales, it will show. But we don't want to see for this year, for this month, what the sales alone, we don't want to see it. In addition to that, we want to see the previous 6 months sales. Look here, if you see here with the May 2014, and then when I selected 6 year, what happened? The 2000, January, February, March, April, May, and then the previous year, right? Because 5 months only is there. 5 months only are there in this month, in this year 2014, and prior to this year December is there, right? It has to take over. And if I select here, for example, if I select 11 months, so May month, right? So May 2014, you display it. Along with that, you show me the 11 month prior to this month, whatever things are there. So here you can see here May month 2000 May, and 1 second, let me just select this one and see if I can do month here. Yeah, if you see here January and February and March, April, May. So in this year 2014, 5 months are there. We have selected 11, right? So previous year again. So okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So what happens is previous year starting from December and then November, right? So 2013, 6 months, and this year 4 months, right? So overall 11 months it shows. This is the requirement. This is how they want to see the report. Okay. So now what happens here is okay. So now the question is, how do I implement this? How do I implement? What are the steps that are involved here? So in this case, what we do is I have created a duplicate of the calendar table. First step is what you need to do is simply, 1 second, let me just So this is my calendar table and calendar 2. And what I did here, I just created a new table by the name of calendar 2. You need to click on the new table and then specify calendar 2, or you can specify some other name, okay, date 2 or something like that. On the right side, I just used the previous table, right? The previously created table calendar. So what will happen is whatever the values are there in this table calendar will get copied to this one. And then a new table will get created by the name of calendar 2. Because now the calendar 2 is a duplicate of my calendar. Look here, I click on this one. It is the duplicate of my previous one. Okay, you might be asking, why do I need to have a duplicate? I will explain a little later. At this moment, just remember, we need to create a duplicate of the calendar table. That's all. The step 2, what I did, I created a what if parameter. How do I do this? Go to the modeling, new parameter. Click on this one, new parameter. When you click on this, what will happen is, look here, you need to give some meaningful name here. In this case, I mentioned previous months. Previous months, whole number. The data type is whole number. And then the minimum start with 0 and increment by 1, and maximum, whatever you want, you can do. So if you want to see the starting from current month to last 48 months or 24 months, you want to see it, you can give that one. Okay, maximum value. Understood? So this is how I created it. If you want to see, how I created on this one, you just select this one and then go back to the data view. You can see this is the one I created, parameter. And if you click on it here in the data tab view, so you can see the first value as a parameter. So in the parameter, a DAX function generate series will get created automatically. Start with 0 and 24 months. Okay, end with 24 months and then 1, increment by 1. Start with 0 and then 1 month. What is the current month sales? 1 month sales you show. 6 month, 4 month, 3 month sales. For example, we are selecting May month of 2014. Last 3 months, if you select it, so it'll show, right? So the parameters. So what happens is the value for this one is available in parameter value. So 0 to 24 values got generated. If you want to generate some values sequentially with defined start and end value, then you can use generate series. They might ask you this question also, what is generate series? Did you use this one? Yeah, generate series, the first argument is supposed to be the start value, and the second argument is your end value, and third value is your increment value. You want to increment by 1 or 2 or 3. That is what this is increment by. Okay, this is start and increment. You understood? That is what you need to, that's how you need to. But when we create the this one, the what if parameter. So what if parameter, where you can create it? So they'll ask you. So you can go to the modeling tab and click on the new parameter. Right. When you click on this, it will open up this. There we can specify the parameters. Look here, I mentioned previous months as a parameter name. And then the start value is 0, and the maximum value is 48. Okay, here 48 I mentioned. What you have seen was different. Okay, let me just see. Yeah, if you keep the cursor over here, you can see the previous months. Yeah, previous months. So let me just see why. Yeah, 48 months, right? Parameter value. No, not this one. Sorry, I'm looking at the wrong one. The parameter prev months, right? Prev months. This is the one, the what if parameter. Okay. So starting from 0 to 48 days, 48 months. According to me, I know 0 to these are all months, but according to Power BI, it doesn't know, right? So whether it's a month or what it is. So the parameter, the what if parameter, what it does is with this, we can do some kind of what if analysis. So in the interview, they might ask you these questions. So how did you do what if analysis? We have something called what if parameter, new parameter, right? So when we use the what if, with the help of the what if parameter, we can do the what if parameter. Supposing if I, let's say there is a business question. What if my month is May and 2014, the previous 11 month sales? Can you show me that? This kind of what if by, by sliding this backward and forward, you can answer these kind of business questions. Okay, I should be allowed to select any month, any year, but for any specific month and year, if I want to see the previous 4 months, I should be able to select any month so that it should show, that many number of months starting from the value which I selected it. Okay. And if I select here, sorry, not 12, we'll select six. Look here, 6 months. And if you see your May month, right? So May 2014, prior to May, you have something called Jan, Feb, March, April, May, and 6 months. So hence, it had to go back to the previous year. Step 1, duplicate your calendar table, date table, and step 2, create the parameter. 2 steps, we are clear, okay? And then step 3, what I did, I create this slicer, 2 slicers. One slicer is to hold the value of the year, and another slicer is to hold the value of May. And if I keep the cursor calendar year 2014, this is calendar. This is the one comes from the calendar only. Okay, good. So far, so good. So the next one, what I did, I just created a bar chart, the clustered column chart. Here, month, year. So I have created a column called month, year in my calendar too. So it is a duplicate of the calendar table. Look here. If I select calendar, you will find the month, year. The month, year. Okay, 2011, January. Okay, so that whatever the thing that we select, we can see it here itself, right? The month and year, you can see it. There will not be any confusion. So here, month, year, I selected from my calendar too. Calendar 2 is also a copy of your calendar table. Whatever the columns are there, what the values are there in calendar, the same thing is available here. Okay, I'll tell you why we need to select this one from here. Okay, and the next one is select in last month's one. I have created a measure called. That's all. Here, this is where, the logic, right? This is the one plays an important role. So here, what we are doing is I have used a variable, defined a variable to date. Okay, current date. So what is that to date? Okay, what are the right? So date, today's date, whatever the date, you just store it here. And then from date. So in this case, what I'm doing is I'm using a function called edate. Okay. This is the one will give you the last day of the previous month. Okay, last day of the previous month. Which one? The edate. Okay. So here I just pass the first argument, the to date, the maximum calendar date. Sorry, this is the recent date, right? The recent date. The recent date. It will start from the maximum date, comma, and what you do is the -1 into previous months. For example, if you select 6 months in your parameter, what is parameter? The slider. Okay, so what will happen is 6 into -6. So the -6 will get subtracted from the maximum value. And then what happens here is we are doing for this, return this value, return calculate sum of sales, this one, all from the calendar table. So I want to remove the filters from the calendar table. Only when you remove the filters from the calendar table, it gives you the range of the values. Okay, and then dates between function. Here we have specified from date to date. What is my from date here? This is the one, right? The last 6 months. For example, if I select May 2014, last 6 months is what? So to the December 2013, right? To date. Sorry, from date is your 2013 December to date is a maximum date. Whatever the date, maximum date is there, you selected that one. That is the one it gives you. So this function helps, this measure helps us to, to meet this requirement or to meet this use case or requirement from your customer side. Step 1 is, okay. So now the thing is, I have used the month year in my x-axis, and then y-axis, I have just used this measure which I created it here. Okay. And because if you use calendar table here itself, right, it will not do the filtering. Okay. Hence, we need to have a helper table called calendar 2. It is a duplicate of this one. So the calendar 2 also needs to be linked with my sales table. Even this one also got linked, like a calendar table. If you keep the cursor here, order date, and this one and order date got linked, right? So order date and order date got linked, and make sure that the data type here is long date, means format should also be, see here, this is a date time, and here you have order date, and if you see here date is there. Okay, don't keep that way, and here date is there. What I do is, for the sake of consistency, here I just make it date. So the data type for the date column should be date, and then date time format is like this. Okay, if you use something else, for example, you're using date time here, make sure that here also have date time. Okay, here your date time, and but here you have the date format for the order date. It will not work. It can cause some kind of confusion. That's all. Format, so data type should also be same. At the same time, the format should also be the same. Make sure that you are keeping that way. Okay, otherwise also it work, but still if you keep it that way, it'll be good. And now if I slide this to 5 months, look here, 5 months, and then let's go ahead and select the November month of 2014, and 5 months prior to November 2014, right, including 2014. So November, and then previous months, October, September, and this one. But here you need to make sure that it is all displaying in the proper order. See what, either it should be November here, and then the previous month of November is October, right? October, and then the prior to this August and July. It should be sorted in a proper way. What we will do is I just go here in sort axis, month, year. If I do it, it is not. Let me do one thing. If I do sort descending, still it is not good, right? I just selected November here, and when I do the descending or ascending, it is not much helpful. Okay, so what I do is, let me just give it a try. I just go to the model, and then here I have used which one, the month year from calendar 2. The calendar 2, I use the month year, and then what I do is here I just select this one, and then I just select sort by column. What I do is month, number. Okay, year, month should be there here. Year, month. Okay. This is my whole number, year, and month number is there, right? Okay. Here 2011 and July is there. Okay, this is the one. Let me do one thing. I just go to the, okay, but this will not be available in my Power Query editor. So that is another thing. Here I need to combine these two things. If you want to concatenate these two things, how do you concatenate these two things? How do you combine these two things? I want to combine the values of these two columns in a single column. How can you do this? One way out is you can use ampersand, and then followed by this you need to specify but it will become a text data type. We combine, let us see what happens. Let me try this one, otherwise. Okay, now it got combined, but it became a text data type. Okay, I just want to, okay, let me do one thing. I'll remove this space here. I just leave it as it is. Okay, and let me just try to convert the whole number. Let's see what happens. It will be stored differently. It shows something wrong here, right? So you will get, yeah, good. Yeah, I got started in this one, 720 to 11 and all. But again, you will see, I just select this month here, column, sort by column. Let me do one thing. Oh, let's see what happens. Okay, and let me see if any improvement here. Superb, right? So July, August, September, October, November. It is sorted in a proper order. Very good. Fantastic. I did this long back. I did it separately, but the month, the year month combination. Okay, I forgot it. So good that it is working fine. See here what I did. So earlier you remember, I just show you one more time. And I just go back here and then this column thing. I just let me select. See here, what I did, I just combined the values of these two columns, month, number, and year. I just combine these two things. Though, since I have used the ampersand sign to concatenate or combine these two columns values in a single column, it got combined, but it got combined as a concatenated as a text data type. And then I just changed the whole number, it got changed. We did not get any error. But make sure that you're not leaving. If you leave space here, it will be considered as a text data type. Don't leave space here. Okay. And then you convert the whole number. Fine. So now what I did, I just selected the month here. Okay. And then I just went to the sort by column. Here I selected this column. Okay. What you do is, what you do is you select this column and sort this column based on this value, based on this column, the newly created one. So this is the numeric, right? It is in the proper order, right? 7th month, and then you have 6th month, and then 5th month, 4th month. It will be like it. You can just click on it and see it here also. And here it is not showing much. If you scroll down and if you see, look here, after 11, 12, you can see. Can you see it? Right? So in the Excel, you can do the same thing, isn't it? So how many of you did this kind of sorting in Excel? I just show you in Excel also. For example, I have something like Jan, Feb, and then let's say May, March, August, sorry, Jan, Feb, March, April. April is there. Okay. And here what I do is I just put 1 and this is 2 and I put 5 here and March is 3 and April is 4. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 5, 4. And if I want to do kind of sorting, how many of you are familiar with this sorting in this one? If I want to sort this one and okay, sorting on a single column is fine. If you want to sort this based on these two combination of 2, select this one, sort by values A to Z, and here custom list. Satya, you remember. So you understood what I'm trying to say. Based on this number, this one could this one should get sorted. Okay, ideally it will be something like that, right? So you have something called 0, 1, Jan is there, and 0 to Feb is there, something like that. Month and year, sorry, year and month. So even, see what will happen is actually when I forgot this one, okay, and when you select this column, and if you do the sort on this one, based on this one will get sorted. That is what we can see it here. I just, in the interview, they'll ask you this question. This is also one of the interview questions. How do you display the month or weekdays, Monday to Friday? Monday to Friday, I want to be displayed in the x-axis, but whereas when you plot it, what will happen, right? So Monday, Friday, F comes first in the alphabet. So but in the weekday, the Friday comes after Monday, but since as per the alphabet, the Friday F comes first, then the M, right? Monday. So it will first display Friday. That's kind of annoying, right? So how do you sort that issue? How do you want the month, the days to be displayed as a month, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday? Even you should not go by the alphabetic. So what we are doing is, in that case, we create the week number. Forget about it. In this case, what we did, we created a month year column. So where is the calendar 2? Yeah, this is the one, right? This is the one. Okay, this column I used it. So I just month year number. I just give some meaningful name, month. I just share this one also. You can use it, month year number. This is month year in terms of number, whereas this one is month year in terms of alphabet, right? So 2011. This is the one the end, is helpful for the end users, business users. If you give the number like this, it will be confusing. 9th month is September. Suddenly someone asks, right, what is the 8th month? You need to think, right? So here, along with that, if you display the month, it will be good. So what you do to tell in that kind of situation is, yes, in that kind of situations, first we need to select the text value. If it is a weekday, Monday, Tuesday, first you select this, go to sort by column, and then for this weekday, you need to have a corresponding weekday number. Okay, week number. Okay, so when you select this column and go to sort by column, weekday number, when you select it, and then if you go back and see it, we can find Monday through Friday, Monday to Sunday, it will get displayed. Similarly, in this case, what I did, in order for this one to display it in the proper order, I created a corresponding month year number. So what is the July month number? If I specify, what is the equivalent value for July in number? 7, 2011. Okay, I just smartly concatenate these two values. For this purpose only, I have created month number separately, year separately. I combine these two things and then I convert the whole number. So whole number you can sort it in ascending or descending order, isn't it? So in this case, ascending order. Okay. So sort by column. I selected the text column and then selected the month year number column. I sorted this column, text column, based on this number type. The same principle is applicable for month. For example, Jan, Feb, March, April, month, right? Month sales, if you want to see it, you can see it here. So now you understood in the single scenario. See, in this case, I explained a use case, a real-time scenario, and also explained you how you can display the year, month in a proper order. Okay, it's called as a chronological order. Okay, you want to display it in a chronology. In the interview, ask how do you display the year, month in a chronology? They can give you, they can throw this kind of scenario. So this is an advanced scenario. Okay, but simple scenario is, okay, I want to display Jan to December. Okay, but since J in the alphabet comes at the last, right? So for example, February month, F comes first in the second letter in the alphabet, whereas J comes at the fag end of that one, right? So what will happen, it literally goes by the string sorting. In that case, Feb will display first, Jan will display first. So in that case also, what you need to do is you need to go here and then you have the month number, right? Let's say this is your month name. Select this month name, go to sort by column, click on which one? Month number. When you click on month number, what will happen is, so it will show proper order, Jan, Feb, March, April, May. Because you sorted this column based on this number value. The number value, if you sort this ascending 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Jan, for the Jan month, it will be 1 only, right? So you need to tell them, select the month name, and then select the sort by column in the data view, and then click on the month number. Sort the text column based on the number data type. So then you will be, but here we concurrent with this one. So in this kind of scenario is working fine. So this is little bit advanced one. Okay, look here, when I selected this one, look here in the calendar table. This is the one, the pending issue from my side. I thought of explaining it to you in the previously. So this is another way of generating a month number. Okay, either you can use month of calendar date, that will give you, but other alternatives, calendar date, when you type the calendar, what is the calendar date? This is the table name. Look here, this is the table name, right? So 1 second, let me just. So this calendar is nothing but the table name. Okay. In this table, we are using this column, date column, calendar of date, right? So dot month number, or automatically it will display. For example, see when you click on the new column, and then if you type something, the month number is equal to calendar date, and then if you specify calendar date, right, automatically you can see this one. It will display automatically. You want a date, day, month number. You don't have to remember the quarter function, or you don't have to remember the year function. Simply you can, this is another way of doing this. Here, what was there earlier? Month number, right? Yeah, month number. Okay, month number. Press escape. You can see whatever the change you made, it will not appear. Okay, press escape if you want to see the previous one. Okay. So, but here you don't have control Z and all. Right, control Z, and you don't have the option to revoke the previous step. Like we have it in Power Query, we don't have it here. So we can also do it here itself. But you cannot see this table in your Power Query editor because it's kind of a virtual table. Okay. So combine these two tables. What I did, so here it is not there, but here I created that one. Okay. So in this table, because this is the one I use it, and because in this table, calendar 2, I have used the month year column in the x-axis. Okay. If you select here month year column, you can see this one. And in this one, this is the one. Simply, basically, we want to know the from date and date. So what you do is whatever the date that we selected, right? For that, you just filter whatever the value that we selected here. For that, what you do is, right, you need to show the previous 4 months. In this case, previous 4 months for the month and date, whatever we selected. Very simple. You just click on this one. Simple thing is, if you wanted to understand the logic which I wrote it here, there, right? You just click on this. Probably I will put a text note here to how this logic works, right? Comments, I'll put it more. If you select the visual here on the right side, you can see the columns that I used it in this one. The month here is your x-axis, and this one is your y-axis values. This is months. So now you understood how to do the last month. The interview, they'll ask you the advanced topics like what is moving average? How do you do the rolling moving average? Okay, and then moving average or rolling average, rolling total. You can say this is also rolling total, month-wise rolling total, right? You can say that way. But last n month sales, irrespective of the month and year, whatever I selected it, and I should be given an option to view, in addition to the current month, the previous 4 months, previous 6 months. I should be see how do I do that. So these are the steps. Step 1, you need to duplicate your calendar table, and step 2, create this one, the what if parameter. Okay, a new parameter or what if parameter. And then what you do is the next step is create the slices. The slices you drop the year and month from your calendar table. And the next step is in your visual, right? So what it is, you need to create a measure. In the measure, we can use the dates. I have used the dates between function. This is one of the important. This is the function helps me to filter this one, fetching the data between these two dates. And but before that, what happens is I'm going to I arrive the to date and from date. How I arrive the to date? To date is the max occurrence date, the maximum date in your date table. What is the maximum date in your table? The 2014 year, right? And then maybe in the 2014 some month, some date. That is the one it will be the recent date. Okay, start from take the recent the recent date, the maximum date. From the maximum date, what you do is, between this range, right? So let's say you specify 5 months, 5 to maximum date, whatever the range, falls in between, display that one. That's it, guys. Okay, they'll ask you what is the eDate function. It does is, with the help of the eDate function, we can get the last day of the previous month, previous n month or so. Okay, when it is added by one, okay, you need to make sure that you need to add this one by 1 at the end. Probably I will write a note for this one also here, so that will be helpful. And in fact, we have a blog in our website for this scenario. I will send you that link also sometime tomorrow. You can go through on it. Okay. Okay, the next question is, what are the types of filters that are, what is the difference? What are the types of filters that are available in Power BI? They'll ask you this question. What are the types of filters that are available in Power BI? One is the visual level filter, and then the next one is the report level filter, and then all report filter. Nilosh, do you remember this? And what are the types of filters that are available? I just show you here. For example, if I select this one, and then you need to expand this one. Next to the visualization, you have the filters tab. You just click on it. When you click on this, look here, you have an option called filters on this visual, filters on this page, filters on all pages, or we can say filters on this report or on this page. Okay. And here, if I don't select this visual, if I click in the blank space, the filters on this visual option will disappear. Only when you select any visual, and then if you expand the filters, you can see the filters on this visual. So using filters on this visual option, for example, if I click on this, look here, this one got added here. In addition to filters on this page and on all pages, this one got included, which means you can do a filter on a specific visual. Supposing you want to see, for example, if I select this one, not this one. In the case of month year, you have something like top N, advanced filtering. These are the options are with filters you can do. You can find the top sales, top N sales, and basic filtering like no, I don't see all the January month sales, 2011 January only you can show it something like that. Okay, you can, that is what we have selected already. Let's say you don't have these slicers here. You want to do some kind of filtering using the filters option also, you can do it. The filters, it is used for developers. Okay, the other difference between the slicer and visual filters, these are called your slicers and filters. The slicers sits on top of your report canvas. It is very user friendly, whereas the filters, you need to expand it explicitly. This is meant for the developers, report developers. Okay, I have asked the first question. What are the types of filters that are available? Filters on this visual, and then filters on this page. Let me do one thing. I just unselect this one. Sorry, I just unselect this one. Look here, these are the two filters on this page, filters on all pages. Okay, and then when I select this one, what filters on this visual? There are three types of filters: filters on this visual, filters on this page, filters on all pages. Filters on this visual will get enabled only when you select any specific visual. That's it, guys. And then filters on this page. Say I don't want to apply filter only to this visual. Okay, I just select this visual now. Look at filters in addition to that, right? Filters on this page, filters on all pages. In addition to that, filters on this visual got enabled. So whatever the filter you applied, that one will get applied on this, only on this visual. This is not possible with slicers. Let's say you have four visual. You have column chart, pie chart, donut chart, and your tree map. And if you select the values, whatever you selected in this one, for example, November 2014, you selected it here. All the visuals in your report page will get refreshed based on the selection you made it. But with this, what you can do is with filters, no, don't apply this, condition for all the visuals. I want to apply a specific condition to each visual. You can go and select the conditions here. Okay, is less than 5 months or 3 months or something like that. Okay, you can select it. So there are three types of filters. Basically, one is the filters on the visual, filters on this page, filters on the on all pages. Okay, what is filters on this page? So what instead of visual, instead of applying the filter only on the visual, it's something like your slicer. Okay, filters on it. Whatever the filter you put it here. For example, I just want to select the category here. And furniture category. For furniture category alone, in this whole page, right? Let's say I have another visual, 3 more visual, like I have something called stacked bar chart, tree map. What happens is the entire page, it will filter for the furniture class, furniture condition. And if I select office supplies, look here, the filters on this, whatever you apply the filter, you apply it, filters on this page, it will apply. It's somewhat similar to your slicer. Okay. And something like, okay, make sure that you are clearing the filter here. Okay, and I just clear. Okay, fine. The next one is filters on all pages. So if I put a category here, and let's say if I select 1 second, let me just go back and go down in furniture. It will not only apply this filter in this page, all the pages, right? What are the report pages that you have it? And if you used any other different charts, it will get applied to all the pages across the pages. If you want to apply the filter, then you can go for filters on all pages. And if you want to apply the filter only on the entire page, then you can drag and drop a column here. Based on this condition, it will apply the filter for the entire page. And no, I want to apply the filter only for this specific visual. Then you select this visual, whichever visual that you want to select it, and then you go and apply. But this feature is not available with slicer. Okay. And another question is, okay, Power BI is a interactive report. Why it is called as an interactive report? Can someone tell me why Power BI is interactive report? With why we can create the interactive report with Power BI? Because all the visuals in Power BI are by natural, right? It by default it's all interactive. For example, I just go and create another visual like donut chart. And here what I do is okay, here I have used sales. Let me use sales itself here. Yes, tell me, Nilesh. Yeah.
So in definition, we can say that we can create the stunning report with the interactive data visualization. So we can tell the data how to drag and drop the all canvases, and 100 of modern visualization are available in the Power BI. That's why it's interactive.
Okay, so if they ask you why reports are called as interactive reports, so I could see that in your resume that you mentioned that we create interactive dashboard, interactive reports. So what does that mean, interactive? So we can use slicers, right? Yeah. By providing slicers, we can enable the end users to, let's say, I generated the report, I share it to you, but you don't know Power BI. So all you do is you are a business guy. You want to see what is the sales performance in 2013 November. That's it. You are going to select this one. But if you don't give the slicer, what will happen? Let's say you have selected this one 2013 November, you sales you displayed, but you don't give the slicer. Then it will become a static report. It is
Right.
not interactive, right?
Yes.
So when you add a slicer, whatever the month or year that they want to visualize it, they have the flexibility to go and select it, right? It enables the user to select whichever the month or year they wanted to view it, they can select. Hence, it is called interactive. And by default, Power BI, the visuals are interactive. For example, if I select this one, what happens is the corresponding value only gets displayed here. And if I select this one, this visual interacts with this visual. And if I, for example, if I select technology, for example, if I select technology here, look here, technology related thing got highlighted. This one became dim. This is called cross highlighting.
Yes.
I'll ask you the difference between cross highlighting and cross filtering. For example, if I select this one, this is office supplies. This one got highlighted and corresponding office supplies related value got highlighted in the other visuals. But if I use instead of this, let's do one thing. I'm going to create a matrix visual. When it comes to matrix visual, I just do the same thing here. I make it as a table or something like that. Okay. Okay, fine. So this is the one, the table, category, subcategory, everything. And for example, if I select technology, look here, in this case, only technology related data got filtered. This is called cross filtering. Display only the relevant values. I selected technology got highlighted, that only technology related items are. But whereas in this visual, this is a column chart. In this case, technology got selected, right? Oh, see, each column, right? It represents the combination of all the three. The technology. For example, if I select furniture, what is the sales in furniture? And this one. If I hold the control key and if I select office supplies and furniture, so these two, represents office supplies and furniture put together. What is the sales here? But in this case, what happens is office supplies and furniture got highlighted because I selected only these two. This one got dimmed. When it comes to column chart, whatever the items that I selected it, right, that one will get, in the case of column chart and the donut chart, whatever the item that you selected. In this case, I selected these two segments only. This one I did not click on it. How do I select more than one segment? Hold your control key and select more than one. So I selected these two and it shows the furniture and office supplies. What is the sales? The rest of the, the dimmed value, right? This color is dimmed. The rose color one, it's a dimmed. It is a non-selected value. Along with this selected, what is selected? Furniture and office supplies got highlighted. The selected values will get highlighted across the visuals when it comes to the column chart, bar chart. But when it comes to table, it is doing the cross filtering. There are two terms you should be remembering it. One is cross filter, and then they'll ask you the difference between these two, cross filter. The other one is cross highlighting. What is the difference between these two? Whatever the item that we selected, in this case, I've selected these two items, right? The corresponding values across the visual got highlighted, especially in the case of column chart. But whereas in the case of table chart visual, it shows only the relevant furniture and office supply. It is not showing the technology. Whereas here it shows the technology also, but the technology got dimmed. So the cross highlighting is what are the value that items that you selected, the corresponding value will get highlighted across the visuals, especially in the case of column chart, stacked bar chart, right? Or bar chart. In the case of table, it is doing the cross filtering. Cross filtering is selecting only the relevant value. The simple example is the slicer. For example, if I select 2013 May, it will show only the 2013 month. That is nothing but cross filtering. The why I have taken this example is, by default, when I selected these two, automatically it interacts with the other visuals. That is also the reason why we say Power BI is interactive by default. The visuals are interactive by default. However, we can control this one. How do I control the visuals? Let's say you have 6 visuals are there. So like a donut chart, listen very carefully, and then table visual, and you have the column chart visual, donut chart visual, table visual. Likewise, you have some other visuals are there. Okay. So let's say, you are working with millions and millions of records. In the demo, I have shown you just hardly 25,000 records maximum. That's all. In real time scenario, you'll be working with millions. What is a million? 10 lakh record is equal to 1 million. 10 lakhs is equal to 1 million, right? So 25 million records. When you have it, it will be literally, slow. And especially when you select one value, what will happen to filter the other visuals? It will take hell lot of time. So what we do is, one of the best practices, make sure that you are you're making sure that you are restricting or you are enabling the cross filtering only for the appropriate visuals. Okay, for example, I don't, whatever the value that I selected, I don't want the corresponding value to be displayed in other visual. So what you do is, you need to go to the format. In the case of format ribbon, you have something edit interactions. The interview, they'll ask you, what is edit interaction? Right? We wanted to change the default behavior of the visual interaction, or to restrict the visual interaction between visual interactions, right? We use edit interaction, click on the format, and then I click on the edit interactions. Look here, I have something like, the moment when I clicked on in edit interactions, three icons got enabled. So when I select this one, what will happen is, look here, I selected the none. Apart from this, you have cross highlighting, highlight, and cross filter. You want to cross filter or cross highlight. Okay. And what I do is, intentionally, I just select cross filter. So I made one statement. Listen, guys. So when you select any specific item, for example, if I click on this one will get highlighted. The rest of these two segments will get dimmed. And then the corresponding value, whatever you select, right, this one will get highlighted. The corresponding highlighted values across the other visual will also get highlighted. For example, if I click on this one, the furniture will get highlighted. The furniture related sales will get highlighted. In addition to that, other two categories values will get dimmed. Still, you can see the selected and non-selected values detailed here. Sometimes the end users, they will not prefer this. Hey man, it is confusing. If I select this value, show me only furniture related, the sales performance across the visuals, or furniture related sales or units sold across the visual, you show it. In that case, you can go for cross filter. In that case, to enforce this one, not to do the cross highlighting, that purpose also, we click on edit interactions. We change the default behavior. Okay, don't do cross highlighting, just do cross filtering. Okay, click edit interact, go to format ribbon, click on edit interactions. You can see the 3 icons. On top of this one, I selected this one. Filter, do cross filter, don't do cross highlight. Okay, I just click on the blank space here. That icon got disappeared. Look here, if I select furniture, what happens? Only the furniture related sales it shows. Can you see any dimmed value? No, right? Right? So we have enforced the Power BI visuals we change the default behavior simply. When you click on any specific thing, don't do cross highlighting across them. Instead, do the cross filter. Show only the relevant values to furniture. And if I select these two things together, what happens? Show furniture and office supplies related thing here. Don't show the technology related value here. And if I select the cross highlight, what happens? These two values, whatever you see, this is the brick color, right? Orange color. Orange colors represents office supplies and furniture related values, because I selected only these two. I did not select this one. It got dimmed. You can see the selected as well as the non-selected in the case of cross highlighting. Sometimes the end users, the report you say is confusing. Show me only the relevant values. Then you can override this default behavior by clicking on this one. Now it shows only for furniture and office supplies related sales across these months. You can override. So this way, this is also one of the best practices from the performance point of view. Also from the end user point of view, report user point of view, we are showing only the relevant data across the visual. And at the same time, if you think, no, I don't want this visual to interact with this, and when I select this one, the corresponding value get displayed here. I don't want that. Then you can go and click on the none. So what happens is, if you select anything here, this will not get changed. Look here, look at this visual, keep look at this visual. It is not going to change. You have given three options. Okay, don't create any interactions between these two. By default, this visual, all the visuals are interactive. If you select any one of them, the corresponding value get refreshed across the visuals. Especially if you are working with huge volume of data, make sure that whichever visual that only if let's say you want only these two visuals to be interactive, this visual should not get interactive. Okay, in that case, what you do is you can use this option, right? So sorry, you can use this one, but again, you have another two options. You want to do the cross highlighting, the selected as well as the non-selected to be displayed. Then you can click on the highlight, cross highlight. And no, I want to, for example, if I select technology, only select only technology related sales. Or if I select office supplies sales only. You show it here. This is cross filter. Now you understand cross filter is show me only the relevant value. The cross highlighting is it will show the relevant as well as the non-relevant, but the non-relevant values will be dimmed. That's all, guys. And okay, so what is the advantage of edit interaction? The advantage is finished. I want only these two visuals to be interacted. Whereas look here on top of the table visual also you have this icon, right? Let me do one thing. On top of the table visual, but you can see only two options here. See what if I select this, and what will happen is, irrespective of the values, whatever you select in other visual, I will display only this one. I will not change my behavior. Let the others do whatever they do. I will remain as it is. Okay, that is the one. So no, you do the cross filter, right? But in this case, what we can do is with the help of edit interaction, we can restrict the cross filtering across the visual so that your report performance will be faster. For example, there is a requirement like, I want, I don't want this visual to be displayed. For example, I just go and clear the filter here. No year, no month I selected. Okay, nothing. Here also I just put, 5 months, let it be there. What I do is I just say none. Okay, let me do one thing. So on top of this, each visual you see the filter, right? Look here. So when you keep the cursor over here, the filter thing, it shows what filter, right? Previous month's 5. Look here, this is the one, right? It is used here. And then what I do is I just select it here. And if I see here, it shows the filters on the visual is previous 5 months. Previous 5 months. You can use this also to test whether the filter has been applied on each and every visual. Okay, what I'm trying to say is, for example, if I select this one, and if I go to the format and edit interactions here, and what I do is, okay, here, listen very carefully, all, right? All the year, all the month put together, what are the sales? Okay, and the 5 months. Okay, and previous 5 months also I make it 0 here. No, here I need to 4 months. Let's assume that you don't have this what if parameter. This is like September, October, November, December, 4 months data. You are seeing it. This is for 2014. But why it is still showing 2014? The previous 4 months, right? Okay, let's assume that it shows all the 4 years put together total sales here. I don't want I want to see all the 4 years put together. Let's or each year 2013, 2011, 12, 13, 14. Each year what is the sales? All put together, and I don't want this to be disturbed. Okay, I just selected this one, none. Okay, and then what I do is when I select anything here, okay, it's not getting disturbed. Still going on. Let me do it. I just. So if I select this one, look here, furniture and furniture. Furniture related item only got selected. This is called your cross filtering. But here it is not getting changed. Look here, you just keep an eye here. It is not getting disturbed, right? So in this way, what I do is, if I don't enable this, what will happen? Let's know in this visual, I'm using 25 million records. If I don't use this, what will happen is, unnecessarily it will filter this one also. Cross filter. So in this visual, I'm using some set of columns here. What will happen is it goes to the memory and sort, and then it is filtering this value. If you have 10 or 5 visuals, and each visual, the data comes close to 20 million or 15 million, right? So it will not be good. So in the interview, they ask about the best practice that you have used, you have followed. So we have used the edit interactions option. So for that, you need to go to the format. We made sure that whichever visual that doesn't require any interaction, we selected none. Okay, and whichever visual that we want to do some kind of cross filtering, we selected that one. Okay, this is one of the best practices. So filter types we discussed, and then sync slicer. What is a sync slicer? Can someone tell me? Nilesh, why don't you tell me what is sync slicer?
Sync slicer.
How about others? Monica, why don't you tell me now? Sync slicer.
I know, but
you remember it, but you don't remember. So look here, this is a slicer, right? Let's say across the pages. I want the same slicer to be copied. Or I want this slicer to be copied. Not, let's say I have 10 pages are there. Let's not detail page 4, page 5, page 10 is there. Right, so let's say I want to use the year slicer across the reports, but not all the pages. It's this page, and this page, and this page, and this page only. In that kind of situation, you can use we can enable a sync slicer option. You just select the slicer and then go to the. I think all of you have to re-attend my training again. Okay. So I'm planning for a crash course. Okay, let me do one thing here. That's what the long term also you forget it, guys, right? So 15 days, 20 days training. The first thing is long term is good because non-IT people, it is good. And then if you attend my short term course, like 20 days training or 30 days training, every day or every alternate day session will be there continuously so that you will be able to practice it. Look here, in this case, what happens is, even I forgot sync slicer. Yeah, view. In the case of view ribbon, you have the sync slicer. You'll find it. Yeah, basically, we want to synchronize this visual slicer across other. See, if I want the year slicer across the other pages, what I should do? I should simply right click on copy paste, right? Copy visual, go to each and every page and paste it. Pasting is fine, But whatever the item that I selected, right? For example, if I select 2013 here, the same year should get filtered across all the pages, or whatever the pages that I want the same slicer, it should display that one. That kind of situation, sync slicer is very much. You don't have to manually copy paste the slicer across the pages. Number one. The point two is, whichever page we want the slicer, same slicer to be duplicated, you can use the sync slicer option. Go to the view ribbon and click on sync slicer. And then what you do is you select the slicer which you want to sync up to across the page. Look here, the moment when I select the slicer and then sync slicer, there is a separate navigation for the sync slicer. Here what I do is the the slicer should get displayed in my finance page. Sorry, the I is nothing but display, and this is synchronized. Not only displaying this visual, the year visual in the finance page is sufficient, and also whatever the year that I selected, the same year should get filtered in the finance page also, right? Similarly, you can do it here. You can select whichever page. For example, in this case, the year I need it in top performance page. Not all the pages I need here, and selective pages. If you want to duplicate this value, right, you can do it. Display the visual. Some cases, okay, we don't want the visual to be displayed in all the pages, but in the executive first page alone, you display the year. In the first page, if I select any specific year, that specific year related data should get filtered across the specified pages. What are the pages that I need this filter to be applied? That you can configure it here. So in this case, what happens is, don't display this visual across the pages. Instead, whatever the item that I selected in these pages, you go and apply this filter. So sorry, I'm just doing the same mistake again. This is executive summary. You display it. You display is I, okay, and synchronize it, okay. And then the finance page, you synchronize it. Don't display it, simply desynchronize it, okay. And then page 4, page 5. So what it says is, the year slicer, I selected it. The year slicer, whatever I selected here, that one should get filtered in page 4, page 5, and finance page also. For example, if I select 2013, 2013 should get, that value should see there, but don't display the visual there. We don't need the, here let it be there, but here I don't need it, okay? Because it will consume unnecessary space there. That's all. But if you think, for example, we have the 10th page, if I want to, change the year, again, you need to go to the executive page and then you need to select it. So if you want it, you can display it across the specific pages or across all the pages, and then you can do the synchronization. This is for display, this is for synchronization. That's it, guys. So now you understood what is cross-filtering, cross-highlighting, and then sync slicer. Now, I think, it's a kind of a refresher session. Now you understood. They'll ask you these kind of questions as part of data visualization. What I would suggest, right, for data visualization, you can have a separate interview questions, take it and then start prepare it. Okay. In the Google also, a lot of interview questions are there. In my website also, each section wise or each chapter wise, we put the interview questions. Data modeling, you start prepare for the interview questions and then try and understand it. Data visualization, you cross filter highlighting, since there's all bookmark, everything comes under data. You go through on those interview questions. Okay, and then practice it. If you, while practicing it, if you have some confusions, you can contact me. Okay.
Sir.
Yeah. Just tell me.
Okay, so I have a question that if in interview, I mean in first or second round, so so they give us they will give us the scenario, right? I mean, and then we have to give them answer. I mean,
see, they will start with this flow. First, they will do screening to check, whether it is worthwhile spending my time with this guy or not. Okay, and this guy or girl, right? So what we do is we first check whether they have really worked in the real time. So first we'll ask questions like, what is the version of the SQL Server that you used it? What version of Power BI desktop you used it? What version of SQL Server you used it? Yeah, in fact, I thought of starting that with, starting with that one today. Okay, you can say the version of that one. So first you need to be prepared. These are the basic thing you should be aware of it. You have something called select attached version. So you have something version 15, version 15. Remember that SQL Server 2019 is version 15. Okay.
Yes.
Or you can say simply say SQL Server 2019, 2017, 16, and 14. So starting from version 12 to 15, I worked on it. Let's say if you specify that you are having 10-year experience, then you should know the last 10 years, what all the versions they used it. Okay. And they'll first the screening. They'll like, this kind of what version of SQL Server they use. Let's say you put 4-year experience. So 2012 now, right? Currently 2019. And 4 years back also 2019 only was the SQL Server 19. So you can say version 15 of SQL Server we are using it. Okay. And the cloud, Azure are you using the SQL Server? Are they installed in the local server or no, sir, everything is on cloud. Azure SQL database, you are using it. And in the cloud, Power BI cloud service that we are using it. And then Power BI desktop, what we do is we connect to our Americans, their laptop, and then using VPN. Yeah, this is what I want to tell. I forgot to tell you. This was a screening question. Good that you asked now. The screening question. First thing is you'll ask the screening question. Okay. So what we do is we use a VPN connection, virtual private, and then for that they'll give something like some token, RSA token. In our case, right, American they shipped it to us. In that token, what will happen is kind of a plastic kind of thing. You can hold it in your hand, and then the numbers will keep changing. It's kind of a password. So once you start your office laptop, and what you can see the normally how we start, you can see it. But if you want to connect to the American system, you need to click on the VPN. Okay, it will open some window kind of thing, and it will ask you the password. You need to type your password. Along with that, you need to type the RSA token, whatever the value that I just write value. You can see the RSA token. You can type it. So it's 8654, and then press enter. Only then it will connect to their system. In their system, they would have installed the Power BI desktop. In there, you need to do it. So that whatever you do it in their system, they can see it from their side also. What she is doing, what he is doing. If you just start learning there, they will easily make out. Oh, this person is learning and doing. Man, I don't need it. I want someone experienced person who should be up and running. Okay. So VPN, with that you connect it. Okay. Number one, screening. This is okay. You are clear. Okay. This guy really worked on real time. Very good. And the next question is, what is your team size? Okay. And how many number of reports you developed? Okay. How many pages were there in each report? Tell me a report where you have more number of pages. And why do you say it is a medium complex, very complex? Tell me what challenges that you posed. Challenges of data related issues, a lot of data related issues, data were inconsistent. And for example, the region, some people they put North America, some people are NA. So there are some kind of inconsistencies. And to convince the customer to convince the consistent data, it took longer time. Okay, these are the challenges. Apart from this, some errors, right, we encounter like circular dependency error, and those kind of things we come. So what is circular dependency? They'll ask. What are the error that I discussed, or whatever the thing that we did. If you talk about that with the answer, then it is good. Circular dependency error, we post it and we overcame that. What kind of errors that we post? They'll ask you definitely. As a developer, definitely you should have posed a lot of errors, right? You should have encountered many errors. They'll ask you some error, like circular dependency error. So we create a calculator column. So we create another calculator referencing this one. In that kind of situation, we pose this issue. And by using a remove filter, we were able to overcome this issue. To tell the what problem you pose it, how you solve that, also you need to tell it. If you tell it proactively, they think this guy is the best fit for me, is an asset for me. I can trust him. I can delegate the task, close my eyes. Even if I sleep at my home as a manager, my developers will do their job perfectly. I don't have to scream or run after or fight with my developers every day in, day out. Okay. Screening, they do it. Number one. Yeah, number number two is they'll start with the basic intermediate questions. Okay. And then if you explain the concept, it's kind of, what is what. Okay. Like what is a sync slicer and what scenarios that used it. Yes, in a scenario wherein, right, we have 10, close to 8 pages were there, but not all the 8 pages we need the same slicer. For example, year slicer. We wanted to, page 1 and page 3 and 8 and 6 and 4. So what we did, we used the sync slicer. It display the visual, the slicer there also, and also synchronize. We enable synchronize. How did you create a synchronizer? Next step is how. So what is and why you used it and how you used it. What, why, how. You learn, if you learn any subject, you need to keep these things in, the was, or no, the 3 W's they say, right? What, why, when you use it, how you use it. So what is sync slicer and why sync slicer to be used and what kind of scenario that you use it? How did you use it? What, why, when, how? You take any subject. If you have an answer for this, then, by keep in mind of these 3 W's and H, if you prepare it, you're all set. Okay, but with examples, if you tell, it will give them more confident. Okay, this guy seems to be a potential guy. Better will recruit him. He seems to be a genuine guy. He has a real hands-on guy. And if you stuck up with the screening time itself, they will say, okay, we'll get back to you. That's all. They will not come back to you at all. Okay, first round, you are convinced then, and second round, and then HR round, they'll ask you, right? And so, what is your current salary, C2C, where do you work? Okay, talk confidently, don't have any fear. Okay, you are talking about the fact only, right? Let me